Recently, I purchased the new DJI Osmo Pocket 7P, and I'm surprised the amount of improvements they made over its predecessor, the Osmo Pocket 6. From the top to the bottom, there are some obvious but also some not so obvious changes and improvements to it. That's why, in this video, I'll run through a comprehensive list of upgrades between them. We'll go through both the physical and usability difference, as well as new functions being introduced to hopefully help you make the decision of either sticking with the OM6 or upgrade to the OM7P. Before we begin, just some light disclaimer. Both of these, I bought with my own money. DJI did not send me, nor ask me to do a review on them. Number 2, what I have here is the OM7P. Now when they released the OM7 and the OM7P. Now the OM7 does not have a lot of the functions that the OM7P has, such as having this new tracking module, which brings a whole lot of new functionality to it. So something to take note if you decide on getting the 7P. Starting from the top is the phone mount. What I have here is the OM6, and you can see the OM6 is much rounder in its design and has a shinier surface, while the OM7 has a matte surface and it looks a little bit less round. You can also see at the side of the OM7, they have these pins over here which allows this new tracking module. With the tracking module, you also see more pins at the top over here to align with the gimbal itself. Now let's move to the front. You can further see the round designs of the OM6 phone mount compared with the OM7P. Up close, you can also see that the phone holder over here is much deeper compared with the OM6 over here, which is much less deep. Now when we talk about less deep, it really means that this OM6, OM7P can hold your phone much better than this OM6. So here I have is my old mobile phone over here, and when we fit inside the OM6, you'll be able to see that the whole design is rather tight. Compared with the OM7, which has a much better grip to it. Now, assuming that this is most regular phones out there, here I have is my Flip 5, and it's with the casing. And with the casing, you can see it actually still fits. While the OM6 doesn't fit as well. Now moving on to its motor arms, if you can see up close, there are some difference to it. Okay, from the sides over here, you can see where it bends is a little different. So this is my Osmo Mobile 6, and you can see the bend is over here. So once we close it in, it locks this way, which is not exactly very compact per se. Whereas the Osmo OM7P, the bend is over here. And when it closes directly at the back. In terms of its hidden selfie stick, yes, in case you forgot, there is a hidden selfie stick. Both of them are roughly the same. At about 21.5 cm or 8.46 inches. Alright, let's pause here and go out for some outdoor comparison. Alright, so here we have two of my gimbals over here. On my right hand, I have the OM6 with the app already on, while on my OM7P, I have it in its default camera app, the Samsung's camera app. So let me set this up and let's do some simple subject tracking. Okay, so far the OM6 seems to be slightly faster in its native app. Actually no, the OM7 seems to be much better. It actually keeps me within the frame, less whipping from the OM6 itself. So just let me show you guys. So on this app itself, you see, I'm going to move. Okay, let's try again. Okay, I'm going to draw me. Okay, so I think just now you guys have probably observed that if I go out of frame, the OM6 really just lose me. While the OM7, you see, it actually keeps me in track regardless. Alright, since we are at it, I'm going to just do another thing. I'm going to on the application on the OM7P to see if it makes a big difference. The tracker itself, no matter what I do, it does not on. The light is still red in color. So you can see one more time, the tracking of the OM7P is still really better, regardless of whether I'm using the app or I'm just using the tracker itself. So one more thing interesting about this OM7P is that the tracking module here is also a light. So all we have to do is just to hold this, and there are different increments of light. So you can see over here, so this is the weakest and this is the strongest. And we also can change the different light temperatures that there is. So to change the colors, you just have to press the button over here and it changes to now the cool. Here we have is the warm, and here we have is the daylight. And you can use the wheel to be able to scroll it. Let's see the increments. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. About 5 to 7. So basically this is the max itself. So I think we should just bring this around for a walkabout test. I'm going to do one that is facing me and then one that is walking forward. Alright, so now we're going to do a walkabout, and later on we're going to, you know what, let's start with the long selfie mode, selfie stick. Okay, so we're going to increase the size, the length of it. Okay, one big mistake I did is that I hold on to the top part of it, which actually makes this go haywire. Alright, so here we have in its widest. Okay, I'm going to tilt this a little down. Okay, so we are actually doing a walk around test. Where am I? We are actually in a slightly slopey area. Okay, let's do a turn. Okay, the OM7P is definitely doing a much better job with in terms of the whipping action. Alright, so to make a contrast difference between having the selfie stick and without, okay, just to reiterate that both of these selfie sticks are of the same length. Alright, so right now on the OM6 does not have the selfie stick, while the OM7 has. So you can see the difference between one having the wide angle and one not. So this is with the selfie stick, and this is without the selfie stick. Without the selfie stick, with the selfie stick. So there is a maximum tilting angle in terms of how low it can tilt down towards. That's why you see there's quite a lot of headspace above me, so I cannot lift it too high. This way will be the best. Alright, so this is the maximum. So now we're going to do the test of the front facing of the gimbal itself. Okay, so far both of them are actually doing quite great, keeping me in frame. So I honestly don't see a difference between one over the other. They all managed to stabilize my movement relatively well. So basically this concludes our outdoor test between both of these. Alright, so let's continue now with the bottom differences between both of these models. Starting with the sides, you can see the OM6, the USB-C port is over here, while on the OM7, it's actually shifted to the right. As for their scroll wheel, over here, there isn't difference, both of them are roughly the same. Now when we look at the front, you can see that the screen on the OM7 is much bigger than the OM6. The record button as well as the reverse button are also slightly larger, but the scroll wheel does not have any changes per se. I like the screen that is on the OM6 as it's much bigger, and you can see the M button is also much larger. When we turn to the back, you can see that they still have the trigger button over here. As for the overall grip and feel, it's actually the same. There isn't any key difference among them. Now, but when we put it on the table, you will do notice a height difference among them. Why? It's mainly because of their tripods. Now, on the OM6, the tripod, you have to screw in separately. Whereas for the OM6 7P, it's actually built in. So all you have to do is just to close this and just put it in. The feet closes magnetically. Now I need to get my magnet paper over here. So when we look at it from the side, that you'll be able to see that there are magnets at both of its ends of the feet. Quite an interesting design. Now once we close it, both of them still has the 1/4" screw over here for you to be able to mount to other tripods. So in case if you don't like this little tripod feet over here, you can actually mount the Osmos Pocket 6 tripod feet. Now how do you open it? There are actually these hinges which you can just pull out this way. So the height difference is actually due to the tripod feet. If we close it, you can see both of them are almost it's rolling off the table. Both of them are actually the same. Now, one disadvantage of the OM7P's feet is that it actually bounces. Okay, so once I put over here, you can see it's raining outside. So once I push, you can see that there's a slight bounce to it. Okay, so we have to be a little bit careful if you plan to use the Osmos Pocket 7 for heavier builds. Whereas the OM6, the tripod feet hardly bounces because it's an independent tripod by itself. Now, with that said, you can see that the profile of its base is a lot bigger. Now, let's move on to something that's not so obvious, their battery life. Now, the battery that is inside this OM6 has about 2600 milliamps, which gives you about 7 hours of use. While the OM7P has an inbuilt battery about 3350 milliamps, which gives you about 10 hours of use. Now, do note that if you ever want to charge your mobile phone while using it, the OM7 is able to do that. It comes with this cable, which you can actually plug into your mobile phone while being mounted to be able to use it while charging. In case you guys are wondering, here are other specifications which I did not mention in my video, which some of you guys might be interested in. Let's conclude. If you already own the OM6, should you upgrade to the OM7? Now I have 3 factors for you to consider. Number 1, do you need a quicker setup time? Now the OM7 with the tracking module, you're able to use the tracking function without having access to the DJI Mimo app. While the OM6, you only have access to the tracking app if you have the Mimo application turned on. Needless to say, your tripod is definitely a different piece of accessory by itself and you'll take time to screw it in. While on the OM7P, you can just pull it out and you have it right up over here. Number 2, do you need to charge your devices while using the gimbal? Now on the OM6, you do not have this function at all. While the OM7, you do have, you're actually draining the power from the 3350 mAh, which has about 10 hours of use. Last but not least is compatibility, or a smaller size. Now both of these comes with their respective pouches. So this one comes with black and this one comes with white. And one more thing I have to mention, for the OM7, it also comes with white. So do not get confused if you ever see them in stores. They are actually different modules. So when we talk about size, you're looking at one whole piece for the OM7. While the OM6, you have these two. You need to take note that you need to carry this tripod separately. So in terms of profile, the OM7 definitely wins in this area. So if these 3 things that I mentioned doesn't affect you at all, then I think you can just stick with the OM6. The OM7 does have improvements, but not a lot of you guys out there will definitely need these improvements. The OM6, in my opinion, is still one of the better gimbals out there, even among other brands. So, what do you guys think about comparison between both of these? Did I miss something out? And which is your favorite feature of the OM7P? I'm curious! Let me know down in the comments below. If not, see you guys in the next video.